That's very interesting. A man from a car kingdom called Italy buy a Chinese market only car GL8 made only for China. This is very shocking to me because GL8 was designed by site GM
Yeah,
and
right.
marketed and sold only in China. Hi, good morning, Luca.
Hello, James. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for accepting my invitation to do this vlog. We are both automotive professionals in the past several decades, and you are in this industry much longer than me. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I'm longer than you because I'm a bit older than you. Yeah, sure. I've been in the automotive industry for well over 15 years. I started working with FCA. That was my first experience back in 2004. So I've been working mostly in product planning, product marketing, marketing intelligence. I've been cooperating a lot with, let's say, the commercial side, but a lot even more with designers and engineers to develop new products, to position those products and launch those products on the international markets.
Gotcha.
And I've been working with many car brands like I said earlier, FCA. So on the Fiat brand.
But before the merger of Fiat and Chrysler.
Right, right. I mean, over the last 15 years, there were a lot of merging and separation, divorce, and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. I've seen all. I've seen all. Yes, I've been working with the Fiat, with the Fiat Automotive Group, that lately became a Fiat Chrysler, and today actually is part of the Stellantis Group. But I've also been working for Japanese brand like Toyota. I was working at Toyota Europe in Brussels, in Belgium. I've been working also at Mitsubishi Europe in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. I also joined Chrysler when it was not together with Fiat yet. It was that time was a Daimler Chrysler, and I've been working in Dubai, in the Middle East headquarter. At that time, that was one of my few roles in marketing communication, because most of my experience is very focused on products, developing products and launching new products. Be be the customer, representing the customer inside the organization to develop the product according to the market requirement. And in that case, when I was working at the Daimler Chrysler, I was more on the launch of the product, marketing communication. I've been launching many Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler model across the Middle East region.
Wow.
But eventually back again to product, because that's my passion has always been my passion, to develop new products. So I returned eventually to Fiat. At the time it was already Fiat Chrysler, and I was responsible for the portfolio, for the Chinese portfolio. So I was the person in charge of developing all the new products, the Fiat product for the Chinese market. And that's how eventually I came to China the first time. I started developing the Chinese product, the Fiat product for the Chinese market back in Italy, and eventually the new headquarter of Fiat was created in China, and I moved to China to follow my project. Yeah.
Wow, got you. A very long career in automotive industry. Can you introduce what project did you participate when you were in the FCA product department?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm very proud, let's say, to say that when I started my career developing, being the product manager for Fiat 500, Fiat 500. So when I first started, was very young, when I was first started my experience in automotive, I had the chance to work on one of the most iconic products for at least for Italians, but
Yeah.
overall for Europe,
Yeah.
So that was really gave me a big boost in terms of passion, that really was a very interesting experience because when you work on such design-oriented products, I mean, you feel your job is very creative, actually. Then, of course, you realize that automotive has a very strong engineering logic, very strong manufacturing logic. It's not a super creative job. Can be, you can push the boundaries of automotive in a more creative side. But yeah, that was my first project in my career and with Fiat. And then when I eventually returned to Fiat again in 2011, as I said earlier, I was in charge of the Chinese portfolio. Therefore, we had both CDU products, so product that we complete built units, so they were produced in other region and exported to China, and that was exactly 500 and Fiat Fremont. So they were Fremont basically was was a Dodge Journey.
Yeah.
A rebadged,
Sure.
exactly, a rebadged Dodge Journey with the Fiat brand. But indeed, we created new products specifically for the Chinese market, and that was the Fiat Viaggio, the sedan, the C-segment sedan, and the Fiat Ottimo. With Ottimo, that was the hatchback, the C-segment hatchback. Yeah, these two products for the Chinese market were, with these two products, Fiat relaunched the brand in China.
Where are the two new products developed in China or in Italy or in America? Because I know the Viaggio also was rebadged as a Dodge something.
Yes, that's right. Let me explain to you. So we originally the base of this car was coming actually from Alfa Romeo Giulietta.
What?
Yes, it was a simplified, simplified chassis from Giulietta that became the base for Dodge Dart, so for an American product.
Yeah.
And eventually, the American product, Dodge Dart, became the base for a rebadge, but very deep changes that were between the American version, the Dodge Dart, and the Chinese Fiat Viaggio. So the American product became the base for the Chinese product with the brand.
Got you.
Yes.
So,
and we were first developing the design in Italy. So it was the Italian design center that created the design. And eventually, the complete product development was made between in the first stage was made in Italy, and the final stage was made in China.
got you. Is the Dodge Dart also made in Italy or in America?
That's a good question. No, the Dodge Dart was designed it was designed in US. I think it was engineered between Italy and US.
Yes. And I know you lived in China for 15 years.
Well, no, a bit less. I've been in China two periods of my life. So the first time was between 2011 and 2014. And eventually, I returned to China starting from 2017.
Yeah.
Until today.
So I'm curious, what are you driving in China now? If you drive a car in China.
That's yeah, sure. I drive in China, but I have a lovely car which I like very much. It is actually a Buick GL8 because I'm a family man, so I need a lot of space. I have a family car which is an MPV, and I'm very happy with that. Honestly, I mean, it's not the time for me for sports driving around town. I'm a family man. I need a car to carry kids and to have your wife happy. So that's not a car that give me thrills, definitely, but a car that answer my needs.
That's very interesting. A man from a car kingdom called Italy buy Chinese market only car GL8 made only for China. This is very shocking to me because GL8 was designed by site GM
Yeah,
and
right.
then marketed and sold only in China. So how did you pick up that car from so many models? Because there are also other MPV like the Honda Odyssey, like the Toyota Sienna, and also Li Auto.
Right.
To pick up that.
I always liked GL8 design. Is quite timeless, I have to say. Um, I prefer the GL8 design over many other design. And Buick is, I mean, it's a brand I trust somehow, even if it's all made in China. So it's not a properly the Buick American brand. But Buick has been in China for it's been one of the first brands basically to establish itself in China. So there's a very, very good network to support. And I think I'm not expert, but I think also the the value of the second-hand car for a car like Buick GL8 is quite stable. So I trust that the value will be kept more than for other vehicles. Uh, I I think I consider also other cars, but I saw so many advantages to go for a Buick GL8. And I have to say it's very spacious and stylish eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite spacious and reliable.
Yeah.
I heard there are very small issues on Buick.
Absolutely, absolutely. I never had any issue.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, we're so lucky. And I'm curious, you have so much connection with China and Chinese cars. So how do you view Chinese cars in the past and now? Is there any differences?
Wow, a lot of differences. I really when I still remember when I first came to China back in 2011, 2012. Um, what was the perception of Chinese car or Chinese brand? I mean, my perception, but also the attitude of the Chinese people, Chinese consumer towards Chinese brand, and and now this is completely changed. So at that time when I first came, I remember that no Chinese consumer would consider, I mean, no Chinese consumer from a tier one, tier two cities would consider Chinese brand. I remember I asked my friends, but who buy Chinese brand? Because in big cities is hardly you see them, but maybe you see this Chinese brand car when you go to more to third tier or fourth tier cities. Um, and it was always a difficult answer to get because eventually at that time it was true that the Chinese consumer see global brand as aspirational. Yes. And they didn't consider Chinese brand as an option to buy. But now is completely different for me, and also I see for Chinese consumer. Chinese consumer are happy and proud to buy Chinese vehicle, the mm, new brands, and also some traditional brands have really upgraded their image. And I have to say, I also completely changed my view on Chinese brand.
So in the past, do you think Chinese car have lower quality, lower reliability? The design is not so good, right?
You listed all.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's what we think.
In the past, Chinese car industry was not properly ready to create a quality product, aspirational product. But now it's is true the opposite. Now, eventually, I have to admit that Chinese car maker are capable of making very good looking products, even up very upmarket quality. They are able to do everything from a very low cost and sturdy and reliable products to even the most premium production around the world. And very interestingly, they are able to create very good looking design. I honestly, if I had to think, if you ask me which one is a good looking car, if you had to get inspiration from a new design, what are you looking at? Definitely, I will look in the latest Chinese production rather than a European or American production, to find something interesting, something new. Chinese car makers are able to make something new in terms of design, in terms of styling. European and American, I I may say that they are still very much linked to their heritage.
Yes, they call old-fashioned heritage.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's a limit to be linked to an heritage, and you are free when you don't have an heritage, and you can just look in front of you, not look on your back.
Yeah, but nowadays a lot of Chinese brands also have their design language, the family design language like BYD, like